This is a simple exponential function. Its equation is y equals 2 to the power of x. Exponential functions reference points y value is located one point above the horizontal asymptote. In this case, the reference point is 0, 1. Exponential functions will always contain a horizontal asymptote. In this case, the horizontal asymptote is at 0. This graph domain is all real numbers since the function travels infinitely through the x-axis. On the other hand, the range in this graph is 0 to infinite because the graph will never cross the horizontal asymptote.
The Chernobyl nuclear reactor disaster. The most famous, maybe the worst nuclear power plant accident occurred in Pripyat, Ukraine in the year 1986. It is considered the worst nuclear power plant accident due to the death of 6,000 people. The disaster caused many malformations and cancer growth in the people who were around the explosion. It has also caused many people to move out of town due to radiation and for their own safety. To this day, the area is isolated and in a state of quarantine. All this incident caused countries all around the world to take into consideration the location where a nuclear plant may be constructed or how to take correct preventives to avoid something like the Chernobyl nuclear reactor disaster to happen again.
On 22 of September 1983, there was a nuclear accident in Buenos Aires in the RA2 reactor, which was caused by the negligence of an engineer that was supposedly qualified with 14 years of experience and was in charge of replacing some material from the reactor because they were about to make some tests. But instead, he didn't, and a great amount of gamma rays were released, provoking his death 2 days later. That day, only 2 deaths were registered. After a great earthquake, a 15-meter tsunami disabled the power supply of the reactors. The external power supply and backup power were destroyed. Then, at the next day, the leakage of radioactive materials had been found in front of the main gate of the nuclear power plant. The steam was filled in the building by the core melt, down caused by the dysfunction of the cooling system. The government issued an evacuation instruction for residents within 3 kilometers radius in the beginning. Eventually, it was expanded to within 20 kilometers, and the residents of a range of 20 to 30 kilometers were instructed to stay indoors. Even though the radioactivity was almost gone, the Japanese government didn't let the Japanese citizens to get back to their homes until much longer because they were afraid to any possible damage. These cases of nuclear disasters are great examples of growth and decay functions, since in these accidents it is used graphs where it shows how the radioactivity affects the area where the accident occurs. At first, when the accident recently occurs, the radioactivity grows exponentially, but then with the time, radioactivity starts disappearing and that's when the decaying starts.
Exponential growth is growth whose rate becomes ever more rapid in proportion to the growth in the total number or size. Exponential decay is the process of reducing an amount by a consistent percentage rate over a period of time and can be expressed. Nuclear energy is a clean way of producing large amounts of clean energy and electricity without producing any air contamination, although we are greatly benefited by nuclear power. If any disaster within the planet occurs, negative consequences will be big. We must use nuclear energy wisely and properly. Laguna Verde Nuclear Power Plant is the only nuclear power plant in Mexico. It's located in Alto Lucero, Veracruz. This plant produces 4.5% of Mexico's electricity. We believe that the power plant is safe because with today's technology and international cooperation, our country can build a safe plant free from any disasters.
It is believed that the lack of safety measures, poor training, and planning might have helped create the disaster in Chernobyl. Due to Soviet pressure, the plant had to produce in bigger quantities with lower quality. This disaster could have been prevented with better training and technology, and lower demand from the government. As simple as this solution sounds, experts believe that this way the disaster could have been stopped or at least prevented to an extent. It's really difficult to prevent the radioactive stuff from spreading. Why? Well, actually radioactive fallout is invincible, and the radioactive stuff that comes from the plants is so radioactive that even getting close to them with a suit might give you cancer or organ failure. So yeah. There could have been any radioactive spread to Mexico actually, but maps and articles state that Western Eastern Europe and some parts of the Middle East were the only ones affected. But wind patterns might have pushed some small bits of radiation to us, as radiation could blend in with clouds and fall as any type of acid rain, or any kind of radiation or radioactive stuff that landed in the oceans could have gone us through ocean currents too. One environmental change thanks to the Chernobyl disaster is that many plants were affected. The nutrients of many of the fruits and vegetables produced changed. Many animals close to the area developed mutations which affected the population of them in the area. Acid rain due to the radioactive fallout became a common thing in Chernobyl. Finally, people who ingested contaminated food or who were present during the blast either mutated body parts or developed cancer thanks to the excess of radiation. Consequences for nuclear wars, disasters, and in general is going to affect the world in many ways because it is making the sea levels higher, and also if the accident happens in an ecosystem, for example in an ocean, water will be affected and the animals living in that body of water will be too. We won't be able to eat seafood from there. Also, if a nuclear weapon destroys something or is detonated in a place, for example when Japan got bombed by the American army, it will affect the whole country. Nowadays every country is in a conflict, and this might cause that all countries become affected by this issue. Countries should be able to use nuclear energy because it's clean energy and it's a really good source of power, especially for countries who lack of solar or water to produce electricity basically. But we all should use it in a correct and responsible manner so that all of the citizens and countries near them can live peacefully and safely.
Comfortable working in this group because we were working efficiently, and also I didn't feel left behind because I am a foreigner. And it was difficult for me because we had to see the topic from different kinds of view, and I liked this type of form of the project because I was able to meet new people from different campus and I was able to know new things.
I think that we did a very good job in the project. I enjoyed it a lot. The thing that I like the most about my team is that we all worked together very fast and got the job done very fast. When we got together in a house, we fastly distributed all the the tasks we need to do, and we all did it at time. So it was a very good team.
In this project, I felt that it was a good way of planifying the project, since this way of working it was never tried before, the one of unifying all the prepa techs or all the high schools of tech. So yeah, I liked it, since I didn't know my teammates, but that made us to work in a fast way. And it wasn't difficult. Actually, at first the project seemed difficult, but at last it wasn't at all. And what I liked of this project is that it's showing us new ways of working as a team, with people that we're not used to work.
I like working like this because I already knew a teammate from the other high school, but I feel that if I didn't know my teammates, maybe it would have been a catastrophic work.
What I like the most about this project is that there was a really good communication between the members of the team, so we didn't struggle getting together and getting the work done. I really like the topic about this project and how we could include algebra with daily events and current day stuff that is really important, as well as some history for the Chernobyl thing. It was kind of difficult to find information, but after minutes and hours of investigating, we could finish the project with all the information. What I really liked about this project is that I got to meet new people and make new friends, and as well as the outcome, the project, I believe that was really cool.